After Atatürk, a journey through Turkey from 1938 to today. The İnönü era, in the shadow of war, 1938 to 1950. On the morning of November 10th, 1938, at 9:05, silence filled the rooms of Dolmabahce Palace. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk had passed away. In that moment, the heart of an entire nation stopped. His closest comrade, İsmet İnönü, was elected president. But these were years when the world was sinking into darkness, the Second World War. Turkey did not enter the war, yet it endured a harsh period marked by shortages, poverty, and military mobilization. Bread was distributed with ration cards. Every home lived under the fear of war. İnönü walked a diplomatic tightrope to keep the country out of the catastrophe. By the end of the war, Turkey was exhausted but still standing. A new era was beginning, the era of democracy. Transition to multi-party politics and the Democrat Party era, 1950 to 1960. The 1950 elections were a turning point for the Turkish people. The Democrat Party emerged with a sweeping victory. Adnan Menderes and his colleagues came to power. For the first time, the people had changed the government with their votes. This was another triumph of Atatürk's ideal of national will. The country began to develop rapidly: roads, bridges, industrial investments, modernization, but political divisions grew, press freedom was restricted, and opposition voices were silenced. Eventually, in 1960, the military intervened. Menderes and 2 ministers were executed. From that day on, Turkish politics remained under the shadow of coups for many years. Coup, upheavals, and the people's struggle, 1960 to 1980. From 1960 to 1980, Turkey endured major political and social storms. A new constitution was drafted in 1961. Universities and labor unions gained strength. Youth movements emerged, but the streets grew violent. Right-left clashes, assassinations, and economic crises shook the nation. In 1971, a memorandum was issued. In 1980 came the September 12th military coup. Hundreds of thousands were detained, and an entire generation was silenced along with its hopes. Yet even under repression, the Turkish people's belief in freedom never died. Turgut Özal and the Steps Toward a New Turkey, 1980 to 1990. With the 1983 elections came the Turgut Özal era. The economy opened up, the private sector strengthened, foreign trade increased, televisions, computers, free markets. Turkey was gradually meeting the modern world. But at the same time, the Kurdish issue, terrorism, and political instability became part of the agenda. A new age was beginning, painful but transformative. The 1990s, a dark but real period. The Cold War had ended, the world was changing. But for Turkey, this decade was filled with political crises, unsolved murders, and economic collapse. On one side, terrorism, on another, corruption, and on another, the people's desire for change. Politics was fragmented, governments changed frequently. Still, amid the chaos, Turkey turned toward technology, education, and the idea of the European Union. The 2000s, a new era, new debates. With the AK party's rise to power in the 2002 elections, a new political era began in Turkey. Economic stability, reforms, infrastructure projects, foreign policy initiatives. The early years brought major transformation, but over time, debates deepened regarding democracy, freedom of expression, justice, and polarization. The Gezi events in 2013 and the July 15th coup attempt in 2016 became defining moments in Turkish history. Turkey today, a spirit of struggle, hope, and future. Today, Turkey continues to pursue the ideal left by Atatürk, to be a modern, strong, independent nation, in its own way. Economic challenges, polarization, migration, technology, artificial intelligence, everything is changing, but one thing remains the same: the Turkish nation's ability to be reborn. A people who once rose from ashes is building its future today with the same determination. And the final word: for more than 100 years, the Republic has been not just a form of government, but a way of life. Atatürk's legacy is no longer only in statues. It is in the eyes of a child walking to school every morning and in the heart of a people who say, we do not give up in every hardship. Ey Türk gençliği, birinci vazifen Türk istiklalini, Türk Cumhuriyeti'ni ilelebet muhafaza ve müdafaa etmektir. That is, its English version. O Turkish youth, your first duty is to forever preserve and defend the independence of Turkey and the Turkish Republic. And this sentence is still the heartbeat of Turkey. With this, we have completed the final video of our series, Who Were They Turks? See you in new series.